Juan Atkins is hard to imagine, and it's not without good reason that he's also known as the originator. The Detroit legend already set the benchmark in the early 80s with his first project, Cybertron, which he worked on together with Richard Davis. With his solo project, Model 500, he managed to land a massive hit with the track No UFOs. It was then at the very latest that he secured his place in music history. True to his motto, when your surroundings change, you go through change, Juan has experienced and contributed to numerous eras of techno. He himself has simultaneously been shaped by these changes. The magic of Detroit is still omnipresent in his productions, and it's precisely his roots that he's never forgotten.
When I was growing up and coming up and listening to music, I mean, of course, that stuff has probably more of a subconscious effect than anything, and that probably still is. I draw off that influence even today. So I can't really say that there's anything at this moment that I can point to that is so new and so thrilling, that, I'm going to, say, I'm going to borrow a little piece of this to put in my music, And then at the same time, I'm pushing the envelope myself. So it's like I can't, I can't create anything new based on anything old, So I'm not really looking for influences now. Everything has to start somewhere. In the past, I knew I didn't have a lot of options, and I was sort of locked in because of the primitiveness of the tools. But at the same time, there was always something in my head said, well, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that. Before memory capable sense came out, I always wished that I could save my programs. So when I turned it off and turned the keyboard back on, it was the same program. Well, eventually they came with memory capable, storage. So I mean, in that case, there's always something that isn't quite there in the early days. And the way I see it is that now that you have probably more than you need, I really wouldn't have it any other way. Because now the only limitation is what your own mind can limit. Well, I mean, there's always a future, So, I mean, even though we're living in the future of the 80s, it's amazing the technology and the tools that are available to a musician or artist now. I mean, it's a very good time to be living right now. If you're an artist or producer or what have you, it's possible to using today's technology to still be innovative, even more innovative than ever before. But at the same time, I think having too much technology, I think to a certain degree, yes, the ease with everything that can be done now does make one tend to be a little lazy in terms of pushing the envelope. So from that standpoint, yes, that is sort of a drawback of the ease of technology. But it's sort of like a give and take, You know, I mean, you kind of like, that's a compromise that you give to be able to have more options to go places that haven't been or where no man has gone before, you know, and without certain new technology or certain new tools, is no way that you can get there. I know who I am, and I know, you know, what I do, and I know what people that pay to see what I do, more or less, are expecting. At the end of the day, it's about the music, and to me, first and foremost, it's always the music comes first. And so I don't care how many visuals or how many tricks or how many things you can do, or you know, if you're not playing the right tracks or making the right music, it doesn't mean nothing. Do I see myself as a teacher when I play? To a certain degree, I feel like even if I don't know or not aware that someone is learning, that they are learning. So whether I want to be or not, I think that that's something that comes by default. If you've been around for a while and you've been doing, I think you almost owe it to the younger generation to kind of give them a story, whether they want it or not, sometimes. Being a DJ and playing or being a performer in front of a large audience or large crowd of people is sort of a tricky maneuver, because you have to kind of balance what you want to do and what you want to hear to what they want you to do and what they want to hear. I never go in with the idea that, hey, I'm just gonna cram this lesson down people's throat and like I'm like the authority. I mean, my job is to entertain, because, you know, I come from an era where, you know, before the DJ was famous and this big, the DJ's got all this accolades, all your job was to do is to keep the floor busy or to keep people smiling and happy and dancing. And a lot of that is still in me from when I first started playing. One of my driving forces probably from birth is to do new and groundbreaking things. And I think that's something that will be demonstrated more heavily this year than within the last few years. So yeah, just stay tuned, man, and just keep your eye on Detroit. We're still pushing the envelope, still ahead of the curve.